Greetings, family. Um, it's been a little while. I wanted to talk a little bit about this fella Traore some more, right? Some of you may be tired of hearing about him, but just think about a man that's been in the battle for the last 3 years every day with his life on the line, and still making major progress. It's really something to admire as well as it's not an easy job, and I just think it need to have recognition. So I just want to read off a few things here that some of you may know and most of you probably don't. However, I call this one here Traore, the modern day Moses, right? He's not taking people from one land to another, but he's definitely removing his people out of the clinches and the clutches of the greedy Europeans, right? Whether they are the Europeans that run this country in America or the Europeans that's at home over there, where they all originated at. It's all, the greedy bastards, right? So, anyway, and also he's like a modern day Messiah, you know? When you think about this man's life is on the line every single second, not just every day, every single second they trying to knock him off. You know what I mean? But then again, I thought about something else. The way that he's doing things, one seed, one road, one job at a time. Right now, there's literally hundreds of thousands of the people over there now acquiring jobs because of what Traore's leadership provides, right? So I wanted to talk about his leadership and what he does provide for his people within only, I think it's 2 years, maybe 2.5 years now. He's still only 37 years old. Yo, but listen, this guy here is a leader that feeds the needy, not the greedy. Total opposite of America. Total opposite of Europe, right? But listen here, he provides leadership that's selfless and fearless. Okay, leadership that builds up his people. Builds them up, give them pride, give them something, to have hope for, right? And he ain't just talk; he's all action, right? He provides. He's a leadership that acts for a captain's wage, and not the greedy, over-exaggerated riches of a totalitarian or a tyrant. Total opposite of Europe and the U.S. Traore's leadership, he provides leadership that's unapologetically fights and defends his people with boldness and supreme confidence. Traore provides leadership that enriches his people's education, healthcare, the infrastructure and the infrastructure of Burkina Faso. He provides wages and income for his people. This is stuff that the people that occupied Burkina Faso for say like 300 years maybe or more didn't do not one drop of what he is doing. They did what they have done to every land they have stepped foot on, which is give promises, show the cross, and then give a whole lot of tell a whole lot of stories about how life can be better with them in charge, and then they turn around and break their promises. And the world is waking up to to the fact that we've been lied to. We've all been lied to. Now they've even began lying to their own people now here in America. They call the maggots. They some of them won't never wake up. They're so asleep they're drowning in their own vomit. You understand? Let's get back to Traore though. Traore's leadership. He also provides, training and for technologies, engineering projects to make sure that his people are experiencing the quality of life that their country can offer without excuses. Okay, no excuses. And he is infecting this pride throughout all of Africa now. I mean, one thing about the truth, you can feel the truth. A lie you might think about, you might, whatever, but the truth that needs no explanation, You know, once you got it, once you know that a person is right, you know, it's just something that you can feel. These people, some of these people have never even met this guy, but they can feel his spirit. You know, a godlike spirit. He's creating things. You know, I always talk about rather, you know, we have our Father God, and if we are the children of God, we are the little G gods, you know. Horses have baby horses, cows have baby cows. God has baby gods, you know, and you're just not a baby God because you say so. It's with the good that you do because God is good. All right, so also, he Traore has leadership that inspires the young to become educated, righteous leaders for the future generations. They're thinking about the future already. He has leadership that asks no one, including the U.S., the IMF, and none of those other, you know, gangster banking conglomerates for any help. And he also doesn't ask for any help from France or Europe or any of the white supremacist governments for permission to fully exercise his and his country's autonomy and sovereignty. Traore provides leadership that fully controls the minds of Burkina Faso and process and distributes his country's precious minerals, metals, agricultural, and technologies for export. Um, Before they were a country that only provided the raw materials and, you know, was tricked into giving it up to the Europeans around the world, and then they would give them a fraction of what they would make out. While they're making billions, hundreds of billions, they would give them maybe 100 million. So I mean, you know, some might be happy with 100 million, but I like 100 billion. He also provides leadership that well, I just said that about fully controlling their resources. That's so important because after all, Africa is the continent that was blessed by God to have everything that the world needs. But instead of, you know, people going and asking for these and working with them, like what's going on to now with India, Russia, and China, you know, asking for permission to work with them. And there are some little things that they be doing off on the side. But right now, it's a new day, right? And so progress is being made because they're being respected. Their sovereignty is being respected. Traore has gained the well-deserved respect of these global giants like India, Russia, China, and many, many more. Traore has taken control of all of Burkina Faso natural resources, as I said a little bit earlier, but they've begun trade with powerhouses around the world while rejecting all of the loans and the promises from, you know, these gangster bank conglomerates, you know, the U.S. And the thing about it, what is consistent with the Europeans and the American government is that they, you know, you can always know they're gonna lie, and the IMF, they're gonna trick you out of your money and then have you giving back outrageous money to you know, to cover those loans. Traore has provided solar power irrigation now to the farmers of Burkina Faso. He has provided garment production with the youth with the cotton of Burkina Faso while doing trade with Bangladesh, which is the garment powerhouse of India. And also he provides for the farmers fair pricing. So now he has built over 50,000 homes and have given them to the people of Burkina Faso free, right? You understand? And I mean, and there's so much more. One last thing, he provides education and training for the young people to learn all types of engineering and agricultural studies. I mean, they are doing amazing things with solar power over there. They've also came up with ways where they call them the young I can't say the word. Young people that's working on agriculture have come up with ways of fighting off pests with pesticides that do not damage the soil. So they're on their way, right? I'm going to keep an eye out, man, and I'm going to keep letting y'all know what's going on. Because some of y'all sleep, man. Wake up.